What is up, everybody? It's the Game Maker here, and I am back with episode 12 of PolleyCraft. And this episode is going to be quite the action-packed, really moving and grooving episode for today. So first, I'd like to start off by saying that this episode is the episode that I will be building the Iron Foundry. That's what we're doing today. I wanted to get that covered because this episode is probably going to come out a long time after PolleyCraft number 11, which took a long time after PolleyCraft number 12. Number 10. So you can see a bit of a pattern going on here. But it will take me a long time to do this, but I am confident that it can be done in a relatively okay amount of time. But first, I was over here because, one, I've built this little path up to the cactus farm. I realized that it was kind of tucked back here where no one could find it. And then as I was over here, I was checking, I wonder how much cactus we have. Oh, we have that much cactus. Which, considering this hasn't been running for too long, that's a pretty big amount. Which is good that we have that going. It's good that it's not going so fast because, to be honest, how much cactus are we really going to need? But then again, it's nice to have as much of it as we could possibly ever need. So that's really good. And then there's also another thing I want to go over, which involves us running over to Spencer's base. A lot of the pulleys, and we got to go over to Cameron's base too, A lot of the pulleys have been moving a bit further back. For one, there's this cool thing that Jacob, who's been making this kind of area over here, has created. It's like this nice waterfall type thing, although he needs to contain the water in there. But, oh hey, look at that, Yosh. It's been a long time since I've seen someone else on the server. I've been really wanting to get the iron farm going because then it will probably excite all the other pulleys to get back and start working on what they're doing. So, and if you can see, Jacob's house is new and improved. He's been changing it up. He has the pool. He has this diorite and oak thing going on here. It actually, while I'm over here, we'll take a look at that because he actually went through a few different designs. So this one's kind of a more modern design. As you can see, he wanted the inside of his house to be more decorated, and then this is where he sleeps. It looks like he wanted the inside to be more decorated, more modern, things like that. The type of stuff you see on those like professional servers. But then he wanted to have all of his stuff like somewhere else. So not sure what he's doing with this, but it's a work in progress. We'll see when it's done. He also hasn't been on too often. Nobody has, really. Alrighty. And then if we come up here... Oh, that's a diving board. That's dangerous. I tried it once. I got super scared. Also, if we come over to Spencer's base, we can see it's all destroyed. That's because Spencer actually moved. He didn't really like where he was living. He felt it was too close to spawn and his house and Jacob's house right there. So he decided it would look cool. And plus he didn't really like the concept of it all. The whole castle thing. He felt that it was unorganized, and although it looked really good, he didn't like it too much. So what he decided to do was actually to take it apart in little chunks and make it look like ruins, have the waterfall coming down, stuff like that. And he actually did a really good job of doing that. And actually I think it looks pretty cool. But he has everything's all destroyed. His bunny farm, it's all scattered about. And total redonkulousness now. But for what I'm going to explain next, I'm going to just leap over to our lovely base with our new improved grand entrance right there. I still just love walking through it, even though I've had it for quite a bit of time. I just love going through it and being like, yep, this is my entrance to my base. So we're gonna ender pearl like that. And then that should get us to at least to our useless machine there. Or right next to our base. Okay. So, I wanted to discuss the location of the iron farm. First things first, I gotta figure out a way to get up there. I'm gonna have to make a way later on. Now I had that staircase up there, and that was what was gonna lead to the iron farm. If I keep jumping around. Alright, nice. So I built this over to the village, but there's an issue with that, because I had two villagers all in there and ready to go. I had them all trapped in their houses where zombies couldn't get them, I actually put them in with stone bricks just to notify the other Polleys that I had those two saved, so I could start breeding them over there, and then move them over to the Iron Foundry, or the Iron Titan actually is what we're gonna be making. If I just squeeze myself through here. But unfortunately, well, like unfortunately, like angrily, as we wait here and we just wait, we hear nothing. There is nothing. Nothing but the cluck of that chicken. There was one in here that I blocked up, but as you can see, it's very unblocked and open, and the villager is dead. And then I had one inside of this house. I blocked up the door, blocked up all the windows, blocked up the other door, and someone has put the stone stairs here and let the dude out. So, some stupid pulley, as I will say, has let out my villagers. So now we have to go out and find villager zombies, which, to be honest, isn't huge of a deal. It's just very inconvenient for what I was trying to do. But anyways, enough of that. I wanted to talk about where the Iron Foundry is going to be. It is, I keep calling it the Iron Foundry even though it's the Iron Titan. Anywho, it's going to be right here, right in the sky, in this area right here. It's going to be floating here. Iron's going to come down here. I think what's going to happen is that the bridge is going to go here and then extend, and then this is where like the base of it all is going to be. So that means that I need the villager spawner to be probably right over here. Actually, I think that's a really good idea to put the villager spawner right on there. I just clear out those trees, build a nice villager spawner. So then as I build the Titan right here, I can just kind of bring them up and into it. So that is the first step. Getting villager zombies, turning them to good over there, and then getting them into the villager spawner. So unfortunately, if I had those villagers, this would go a lot smoother, because then I could just make the spawner over there and hook it all up. But now I've got to resort to this. And then I will be right back to you guys when I have at least, I hope, finished the spawner or captured some zombies. We'll have to see. So we are back here where the iron farm is going to be built. As you can see, it's behind my base back here. Spawn is that way with my entrance. This is back here. As you can see over there is the village. If you can see the roof right there of that one village house. That's the village right there where the villagers were supposed to be coming from, but unfortunately, like I said, they are dead. So, me and David, who's been in a few videos in the past, he's going to be helping me build this iron farm, because it's a big job. It's a lot to do, and he's hiding over here behind the pillar. Hello.
Hello.
So, we've been doing a lot of work. So, this right here is where the base of the iron farm is going to be. These treasure chests right here are where we're going to be storing all of the iron. These are going to stack on top of each other quite a little bit. So, but right now we're just kind of putting them there as placeholders. They're holding all the things like doors and things like that we need. That's where the iron farm is going to be, and we're going to start working on that next. But first off, we made a villager spawner, so then we can, when we need to, we can get villagers into the iron farm when we need them to be. So if we come over here, as you can see, we have this right here. Some of you may have seen this before. This is a villager spawner designed by Impulse SV, I believe, and I will put a link to his video in the description. But basically, what's going to go down is that this farmer villager is going to keep getting those crops as they grow, and then they're going to try feed them to each other. And he's going to take some himself. When that happens, they're going to get those hearts, and they're going to get jiggy with it, and make a baby villager. At that point, the villager will run down here, because this is a 1 block high thing. As you can see, there's this glass block right here, past there. So the baby villagers will come down here, because they'll think that's a block, and go in and up. And right now, they'll drown because the fence is blocking the way. But until then, we're basically just going to keep it running up until we need them to start going into the iron farm. So, the next part for me and David here is to start actually building the farm part of this, which is going to take a long time. We haven't gotten any door placing though because the villagers haven't started doing anything yet, and we haven't done that yet. But we're gonna get like the shell, the kind of stuff going for that. So next time, I think this should be more completed and be ready for some villagers to start going into it, which is the hard part. The villager spawner, like I said before, is done. I actually don't know if I said that before. But it is done now, and look at this thing. It's pretty simple. Yeah, I didn't explain this. I didn't explain this at all. This is good. It's pretty simple. So we got this brown coated farmer villager there. And this one's actually a farmer. That's his profession. We looked at it. No, go! Yes! Babby Villager! Babby Villager is in! Anyways, we'll get to him in a minute. And basically, you know, he'll farm up these potatoes. And then these two will eat the potatoes, and then when they get to eat the potatoes, they get that loving on, and then they make some babbies right there. Ah, it's a babby. Okay. Like I said, I think I mentioned this before, this is Impulse SV's farm design, however. I shall put a link in the description for this. And then also, a lot of improvement has been made on the farm itself. Hopefully while I'm up there explaining it, this guy will grow up and then hopefully visit us, because I've created this water stream that goes all the way up and up there to the iron farm right there. So I'm going to go up there and show you what we've done, because it's been a whole bunch of work. I'm not sure if I've shown you this much of the Iron Titan yet, even though I may have. But we have put in the roof at least, and put in a bunch of all the light sources and all the roofing for it. And then what we were just waiting to get the villager spawner working, so then we can start moving them over here. So this is what it looks like now. We've got the torches on the blocks, in the middle, and then we got this roof up here, which actually wasn't supposed to be done yet, but it's not really a problem if it is. So it's just fine. It's actually quite nice. And then we've got under here all this glass, and then all of this glowstone to keep it nice and lit up so nothing can spawn up here. And then off in the direction is where we're going to have to start placing those doors. And there's so there's a lot of building we still got to do, but for right now, there's just getting the villagers where they need to go. And then I'll explain how this stream thing kind of works. And as ugly as this is, we're making it out of cobblestone because, quite frankly, it's the thing that we have most of right now. And it's going to take quite a bit of it. So we're going to the other Polleys and asking them for cobblestone and things like that so we can use it for the iron farm. We're pretty sure we have all the doors already put together. And when I say me, I say we, I say me and, that means me and David, as you remember, as we're putting this thing together. So we're trying to get a bunch of doors together. Like I said, we think we have them all, but we also might not. So this stream of water is actually going to have to carry villagers here on the other side, and then I'm going to have to take a villager or two way down there, over there by that last strip, and then somewhere in the middle. So there's a lot of places I've just got to stick villagers, and I got to make these huge water streams. Way easier than making minecart rails, though, because we have created an ice farm. It's basically just a pool of water where it's basically infinite, where you take out certain blocks. It's kind of a thing, but I can show you that later. For right now, though, I will go through kind of what the villagers are going to do to get up here. It's pretty self-explanatory, really, but now that this is done, it's now just a matter of time, just kind of working on stuff over here, and maybe even just putting together those channels leading to the other spots that we need villagers. So then once we need villagers to go there, we can just open those up and get right to it. But if I run over here to the villager spawner, we have our guy right here, just chilling, waiting to grow up, waiting to become a dad or a mom. I don't really know with villagers. They kind of have their own weird thing. But say I'm a villager, I would come along here. I'm not pushing any keys right now. You know, I would come along this, but I will be trying to swim, so I will do this. I also do need to do this to run through how this is all kind of going to work for the villagers, because I need to make sure that they really just can't get out. And it doesn't look like it at the moment. And then we go under here, and now we just climb, which is actually a pretty fast and smooth process. We have plenty of air pockets, so there's no chance of us suffocating, or more accurately, the villagers suffocating as we're going through this. Like I said, I'm just holding the space bar and looking around with my camera. Still going up. Unfortunately, it's really tall, but now as we get up here, we're up here, and it looks like we can jump out, but we really can't. So now we're just going to keep pressing that space bar. They might fight it every now and again, but because we're players, we'll go in the stream way faster. But, I'm still just floating along. I can go left and right to try and get myself out of this, but it's not looking like they can, which is fantastic news, because then, once they get here, they'll show up over here. They go in and in. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Now I need to break myself out of this, however, so I can go like this and go like this. And now we just wait for villagers to fill this up. Unfortunately, it's not a very fast farm, villager spawner, but it will do for now. Later I'll go over what we're doing for ice farm, because we're using ice to put the water source blocks in here. It made building it way fast, because I didn't have to go up and down for water sources at all. So I think the next step then is when we have all these villagers in here, and we have all the villagers out there all ready to go. All the villagers are ready to go. So then the only last thing we got to do is do the whole crucial, painful, tedious, tear-inducing door placing part of the whole build, which is the hard part. But we can do it because we are pro. So I think we'll jump right ahead to win in brighter future days when the villagers are in their own spots. Alrighty, we are on top of the iron farm. As you can see, we have some doors in place that we've been working on and putting down, because we started the door placing process of the iron farm, which is going to take us a very long time. But with 3 people all down there, we have Ethan and David building that too. This should go by pretty quick, in fact. And then, before you know it, we'll have iron coming out of our ears and ready for everyone to use. But for now, we really got to get placing these doors, got to get right to it. I'll show you about the farm way after this, once we've finished it, and then I can really show what's going on. So, I guess just sit back and we'll get right to that. And just like that, the iron farm is all done. Look at this magnificent thing with all this water, all these doors. But as you can see, there's no iron golems. Not a one. Not a single iron golem is spawning. Not on the top, not on the bottom. It's been like this for a very long time. And why is there not a block here? That's awesome. But, yeah. We've actually been having a lot of problems with trying to build this thing. The first time we built this, we placed down all the doors, got in the villagers, set them to where they need to be, and then no golems spawned after that. Which was quite frustrating, because we spent about 2 hours placing down all the doors and getting that all together. So then later on, I did the whole door thing again. Oh, there's one iron golem right there. Go us. We got one, friends. But I went back and did the whole door placing process again myself, and iron golems were spawning like crazy. I actually did it right. And every time I would go and kill one, another one would almost instantaneously spawn. So that means everything was working. So then I built these spawning platforms, and now nothing is spawning again. So unfortunately, what's looking like what I'm going to have to do is break this top platform again, put in the middle place where all the doors go in the beginning when trying to put this thing all together, and then place them all before. I think my issue is when building this top platform, I destroyed the whole thing and then placed in the spawning platform up here. I think that messed with the villages and thinking if there was nothing here to spawn on, so maybe that screwed up the way the villages were working. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do this time is build the bottom part, put in all of the doors again, which takes a very long time, and this will be for the 3rd time, and then build the spawn, then take out all the doors up here, put on the spawning platform, go down below, and then destroy the bottom thing. So there's always spawning grounds for the golems. I think that just because there was nowhere to spawn a golem, it messed with the villages somehow, and you have to do it again. But other than that, in the time that it has took to create this thing, a lot of iron golems have spawned and we've killed a lot of them. And we come down here. We've actually been decorating this up a lot too. This is the iron collection place. I'll show you how that all works. I can actually do that right now. But we're actually collecting a lot of poppies, which is not good, which means that the poppy sorting thing doesn't work either, which is good, even though it was before. But we have this much iron here. We actually have a lot of iron here. A lot of poppies here, which is great. So as you can see, this thing's been giving a lot of issues. But at least we have a pretty decent amount of iron. Probably enough actually that I could make some iron golems and then use them to kill the wither, because I have enough wither skulls to spawn a wither. I just haven't done it yet because I've been preoccupied with this. So give me a second here so I can kind of show you how this all works up here, the way I have it, or rather doesn't work. If we go up top here, we see that this is empty, which means no poppies are going through. What went wrong here? Because this was actually working before, so I'm not sure what broke. Even though... Oh. Maybe it's because this just isn't full enough? Well, it's dropping poppies now. So that's supposed to stop at like 18 poppies or something like that, and it's going through and filling this up, yeah. And then stops right there, which is correct. Maybe just it's not getting pulled out of the right spot. Ooh, maybe that's what's it, because it's supposed to be pulling them out of right here. Oh, okay. That's good. But anywho, the way this all kind of works is that the iron golems spawn, fall down here, die, and their poppies are sorted out. I just gotta make it so all of the hoppers go through this one first, but that doesn't quite work. So I'm gonna have to mess around with this as well. But get it so then, if this is a simple item sorter, pulls out the poppies, puts them in here, and this keeps spitting them out into the nether portal, which keeps the mechanism alive. I guess a skeleton spawned and is now dying. But then, because if you don't know how this all works, you can watch the video I have in the link in the description below, the video to make this thing. But basically it keeps it so the villages won't merge because of like chunks and things like that. Don't want to go too much into detail. But then basically all of the iron is pulled out here into this automatic dropper thing which we've made before, which drops all the items down here. And then mostly they'll go across here, but then they either go through these hoppers right here. You can see them, there's a hopper right there, and then ice on top of it to keep the items flowing. The items are go across and get sorted out into all the different chests, and as this one will get full, this hopper right here, if this one gets full right there, that one gets full, then all the items will go over it, and then go to these next ones here. So if there was iron coming, this would be working, but for some reason the sorter doesn't want to work because it doesn't go through the whole thing, and I think there's a skeleton inside there, yeah. So a lot of things I'm gonna have to fix with this because there's been a lot of issues. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is just go back up there, redo all of the doors again, and then see if that will get things to work. Because we can get golems to spawn, that does work. And I guess there were a lot of poppies. I just don't know how they got out of there. But anyways, I'll get right to that, and then I'll update you on what's going on when I get to that. So once more, I have redone all the doors on the iron farm. As you can see, there's only like 2 iron golems here. And this was after me leaving this for a few days because I did it all again and it didn't work. Again, I'm not sure what I did wrong this time. I'm really not. We have this guy spawned over here for whatever reason, so obviously I've got a lot of work to do as far as the iron farm goes and getting this working, and it's been an extremely long episode as it is. So what I'm actually going to do is take a break from this because it's aggravating me, because I'm pretty sure I did everything right last time and it hasn't worked. I have a feeling it has to do something with this water spawning platform below. I'm actually planning on taking that out and just having the one spawning platform. I really don't know why there's two. Because this one seemed to work just fine. Because like I said before, I got it working once before where there were golems spawning immediately and you'd kill one and one would come right back and things like that, and they were all spawning up here and it was great. And then I put the water in and then everything went bad. So what I'm planning on doing is now just redoing this. As you can see, I've still got some of these spawning platforms still up because I've got to lower this down one more to do all the doors and placing and stuff like that. So what I'm going to need to do is sometime, once I'm feeling up to it, is do this all again, because that'll be for the 4th time. But mostly what I'm going to do is actually just come back to this project once I've actually gotten it working and once I've finished it. And so for the next few episodes, I'm going to work on other things that will not aggravate me, like this iron farm has. So thank you so much for watching this video, although I realize it's a bit of a longer one, and nothing too much happened, but thanks for watching anyways. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you'd really like to see more. It helps me out. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.